Happy New
Woo!
Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New
Can you
Year!
make your fireworks?
Let's see if it'll go. Don't do me wrong.
2025.
Maybe it was peace sign was balloons. Okay, anyway, there were fireworks on our posters. That's good enough.
That's good enough. And it's the
Happy New
8th.
Year from
Yes.
the shift show, where all the shift happens.
Show.
The
Yeah, it's a real
shifting
shift show.
happens, and it's shifting. Oh my goodness. So Happy New Year to all of our listeners and our viewers and our audience in general. What
Our
do you
fans
call them?
and our
Our
critics and
fans, our
everybody.
shifty fans. They are our shifty fans. So thank you for tuning in. This is season 3 premiere
Love it.
as well. So
Go us.
and looking at the date, January 8th, and I said it this weekend too on my Connected with Cari show that like we're just like in January, like this is it. Like we're going. And now the first week is like gone. So on another note, guess what I got?
I was gonna ask you, did your birthday card ever show up? Woo!
It came on not yesterday, it came on Monday. And I was like,
Okay, good.
I'm gonna open it now.
So happy it found you.
Wait, you can open this 4 p.m. on your birthday. Which was
and this is
a
like
month
so your birthday
and
November 27th. Yeah, November 27th. And we had a special birthday show that started
right?
at 4.
It was
And the
so
plan was
fun.
that the card would get there and you could open it live on the birthday shift show. Now, but I knew it would show up. May your birthday be as special as unicorns farting rainbows.
Oh, it was. I love our magical shifts too. Thank you. This is beautiful. This is beautiful as farting unicorns.
Doesn't get much more beautiful. Speaking of unicorns, look at our beautiful background that Cari has designed for us. I love it.
It was like meant to be. I should have had a farting unicorn just dancing across the background, farting like confetti and
I have a
sprinkles or
feeling there's
something.
videos somewhere. I mean, unicorns exist, right?
They do. You know, there's
We're
actually
unicorns.
talks of unicorns in the Bible, believe it or not.
Really?
And I think when you go back, oh yeah, just Google it, references to unicorns in the Bible. But maybe perhaps back then it was like narwhals what they saw. Then they were,
Yes,
I don't know. I
totally.
mean, or it could just be a total
Unicorns of the
complete
sea.
reference. Unicorns of the sea. I mean, there are unicorns walking the earth. I mean, come on.
Well,
We're
you're looking at
unicorns.
2 of
We're
them.
special. Exactly. We're very special,
Okay,
aren't we?
so how was your
Okay.
holiday? We are special and unique. How was your
Right? I should have
holiday
worn purple too.
season, your Christmas
Oh, the
season,
holiday,
New Year's?
it was good. I feel like what's going on with the stream? You're freezing up on me? Your unicorn self is freezing up.
We were a little sluggish.
Sluggish.
Oh, no.
That's not a fun word.
Sluggish. No, I don't
Sluggish
like that word.
farting
I'm going to turn the
unicorn.
Wi-Fi off on my. Well, that means they're constipated.
Yeah, we don't want that.
That's
We
what
don't
I
want
woke up
sluggish
to this
unicorns.
morning when I grabbed my phone and there was some advertisement about sticky farts or something. It was ridiculous. And it was about something you can do about constipation, and that was the ad that showed up on my Facebook feed this morning. I'm like, I do not need to wake up to that shit.
I think this now has become a farting shift.
No, we'll get over it.
How do we go into the new
We'll get
year?
over
Well,
it.
we are talking about all of our constipation needs and
Nope,
well,
nope, nope.
okay. So, yeah, Christmas was good. And of course, like we did ours early, right? So we had a little bit earlier, and I have to say that it was it was it was just different. So having it early and then it's like all that stress and all the rushing gets lifted off of you because you've now completed your tasks for Christmas, which is great. Don't get me wrong at all. So then, the 21st was Saturday, 22nd. So 23rd, I'm like, going around the city doing all the other things I have to do. And I'm thinking, oh, these poor people are still running around buying Christmas gifts and all that stuff. And I'm just like, oh, it's just like a relief to just have it done and just be able to sit back and relax. Although my car broke down just a couple days before that. So that was fun. My alternator died on my car. But I managed through it. I shifted through it very, very well. And my oldest son, he actually fixed my alternator on my car for me, which was very nice of him. And that was his Christmas gift to me. So I was like, that's beautiful. So that worked out really well. And meanwhile, my mom was grateful and she lent me her vehicle so I could use that to get to my work. And yeah, it all
No.
just worked
Oh,
out. Just, you know? So it was like the Christmas stress was gone, but then it's like, oh, here's some car stress. I was like, ah. But
so how
then,
did you shift through that?
good.
Tell us.
Just like,
What?
oh my goodness. I went to go, okay, well, the short part of it.
Yeah, the
Okay,
short version.
everyone knows that I dog sit. Okay, so the people that I dog sit for, sometimes I will go over and let their dogs out during the day because they both work. And um, oh, someone health in Italy and Rome. Yay. To you too. I hope you guys are doing awesome over there. Thank you for your comment. That's amazing. So what happened was, Virgil, thank you so very much for your comment. If you have any questions, put them in there too. We'll answer them. So yeah, so I went to go and let dogs out. And as soon as I was pulling into the neighborhood, my battery light on my dash came on. And I was like, oh shit. Like, so I'm like, okay, don't panic. It could be a number of things, right? We just don't know.
Right.
Could be just the battery. You never completely know what's going on. So I went and I was like, okay, and what I was doing was, it was a Tuesday afternoon and I didn't have to work that day, but I had to work the next day cleaning my mom's in Cochrane. So it's a little bit of a drive for me. So from where I am now to where I have to let dogs out, it's a half an hour. And then it's another about 35 minutes to my mom's after that. So I broke the trip up because I was like, okay, because it also had snowed on that Tuesday, I was like, okay, I'm going to go, um, do have cleaning on the Tuesday and then have a cleaning on Wednesday and come back earlier. So I'm not driving in the dark and then worrying about the highways and all that fun stuff. Little did I know that as soon as I got to the place, my battery light came on. And then I was like, okay, I'll leave it running, locked my car, went in, let dogs out, came back out and it started idling really funny. And then I went to put it in gear because I'm like, okay, well, just a little gas, just gently. And then my whole dash went up like a Christmas tree, like fireworks. I was like, oh, shit. So I'm like, okay, yeah, maybe it could be battery or it could be the alternator because I actually had my alternator blow 2 years ago on my car as well. So, and I do a lot of driving. So, and plus with an older vehicle, I'd say don't get a new one, just get a refurbished one because it's cheaper and
Oh yeah.
don't put that money into the vehicle that's not going to last long
Although,
anyway, right? Like,
although I
yeah,
have almost 240,000 kilometers on my 2015 vehicle,
yeah,
and the engine light came on just before Christmas,
yeah,
and they took it in and they found that it was a little valve, and they replaced it with an OEM, like an aftermarket, and
yeah.
the light came back on, and they found that valve had failed. So they replaced it with the actual brand name one, and then the next time I drove it, the light came on again. So I just had it in yesterday, and they couldn't get it. Like by then, the light had gone out again, and they could not get it to start it to the light to come back on or any codes to run. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
guess it's fixed. I have to. I'm driving tonight, and I'll see again. Is it going to pop on again? Like you don't
Yeah.
know. So sometimes those aftermarket are a lot cheaper, but
Yeah.
or
And you just
refurbished,
don't know
but
sometimes. Well, also, it could be that it like sensors always go. So it could always be a sensor. And then it would just be like, just something can go at any time. And you're just like, oh, I don't know what it is. Because it could just be a number of things. It could just be like the wiring is just off or the O2 sensor's gone, which will bring up other things on the vehicle.
trigger a
And
lot
then,
of
like you
things.
said, you should go and get it diagnosed for sure. Unless you absolutely kind of know the problem. And for me, yeah, I had the problem a couple of years ago and I was like, okay, I knew it was one of the two. And I was like, okay, that's fine. But luckily, so what I did do was the people I was watch like let the dogs out. They're like they were coming home in a few hours. Like so I was there just before noon and the lady wasn't off till like 4, but she actually came home at like 3:30 and then her husband was coming home at like 7. He got stuck in Saskatchewan doing a truck run. So he was coming up a little bit later. But what happened was the lady and I went to Canadian Tire. We picked up a battery. We came back, and then her husband put it in, and it had enough juice to get me there home. And then it died again. So the alternator, that's what happens is that mechanics 101 is okay. I thought the alternator would eat the juice of the battery, and it's actually the
It creates,
opposite.
yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay, I learned something new. So that's something very interesting to learn. And so
Need
putting a
and magnet
battery in is that it's not very actually like it's not too difficult to do, which is good. But an alternator is
on some
simple.
vehicles. Yeah.
You're like,
That's
okay.
cool that your son was able to help though too, and your mom with the
Yeah.
vehicle.
So
And
he has put another part in. I've got a Honda Accord, so he was able to do another part on a Honda before. So this was a new one for him to put in. So it gave him some experience to be able to do that. But he's been around. He's the one. He's my plumber. So he's doing his last year of school actually this week, and then he'll be graduating. So and then he'll be a full-fledged plumber, which is awesome. So but he's worked on mechanics before and I knew like he's got a mechanical mind and he's out, really, really super cool. So, which is awesome. Yeah. So that was
I'm
interesting.
happy I'm
And
happy we asked for the
yeah,
short version.
right. Then the next day, so that was the Tuesday. Wednesday, my mom, they went and bought an alternator for me and they brought it over and
Nice.
dropped it off at my house. And
Yeah.
then she brought her vehicle and I was able to use that for the next day and to go and do all my cleanings. And then my son fixed it that night. And then on the Saturday, I drove her vehicle back to her house on for Christmas. So it all worked nice and smooth. And I
Boo.
was freaking out. And I'm like, yeah, I know I need to get another vehicle. So Virgil is commenting, which is amazing. And he would like to do an interview. And so, Virgil, I'm just going to say if you want to contact one of us, you can, or I can contact you after, but feel free to DM Underground Radio C and I will answer your questions and or radioc.contact@gmail.com. And then we'll discuss an interview for you. All right. That's awesome. He is apparently a film producer. So, and he would like to do an interview. So that's cool. Reach out to me and I will hook you up, my friend. Absolutely. So um, New Year's wasn't the greatest. I had a massive migraine headache because of all of our beautiful, lovely weather changes
Chinook and yes.
and the stress of the car situation and the runnings around. Before that, so yeah, I was out like at 6:30 in the evening till 7:30 in the morning, just going like, Happy New Year. I'm out. Done. So that was, yeah, that was kind of crappy. But when your body speaks to you, you got to listen, right?
Yeah, if you
So
don't listen the first time or the second or third time, it's gonna like, okay, I'm
yeah,
taking over.
Yeah, it's I can
That
be
was me
that,
this afternoon. I I hadn't
Oh,
slept very well last night, and I don't get migraines, but I could just feel like my body was it needed sleep. So I took myself
yeah.
and grabbed a blanket and a pillow and had a nice midwinter slumber little nap.
When
Midwinter's
midwinter's nap,
winter's nap. Yep.
according to
So I
Shakespeare.
want to talk about winter as well and winter's survival tips and people's like tips and stuff
Yeah,
like that, right?
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but first, yeah, tell me more about. So that was your New Year's,
Oh yeah,
and
that's basically
um,
it.
so
That was all
our
my fault.
Christmas.
But yeah, I mean, overall it was good and things worked out in the end, which is fine. And then ideally it was, in a good way, having a migraine, although it does kind of suck, but I know the onset of it and I know how to kind of manage it, which is very important. So I can just, deal with it and then just basically sleep because that's all it is you just need rest. Because I am a go, 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 go person who just doesn't stop unless I'm actually like now. I'm like
Yeah,
forced to sit
of
down
course.
and do our show, but you're still mentally going.
Yes,
Right.
I hear
So,
you.
like I said, it wasn't a bad thing. And that's my shifting mindset of having to stop but it's good. Like it just slowed me down and go, okay, like just no rushing, just relax. It's all good. And so, okay. That's all I gotta say on that end. All right.
Our Christmas was good. We went to Mexico for a week, so you
Right.
can't beat that. Get out of the
Mexicasa.
snow and yes, into the sun and just I've been wanting to do that for a long
Yeah.
time and it went really well. We were there about 8 days and I loved the pace of it. It
Yeah.
was really cool. Like we just did a little bit of excursions. We like sat around the pool, that kind of thing. So it was good. It didn't feel rushed and
Yeah.
everything went smoothly as far as flights and luggage and like we just did carry on. And so
Yeah.
um, that made it a lot of fun. And um, I don't know, I just find that we appreciate home more when you've been away. Even
Mm.
appreciate winter more when you've been away because it was super mild when we left and mild when we came back. And
Oh,
so
good.
it wasn't bad. And New Year's, I actually had shared a picture on my all my social medias, and it was this quite elderly lady laying on a couch with her head like back and her mouth hanging open and just like so it was like this is my plans for New Year's Eve.
And
And
it's
that's
funny because
pretty
I
much
commented on that saying that's
yeah,
going to be me. And guess what? It was me.
it was. Yep. Yep.
That's beautiful. So completely different Christmas for you, other than like the snow and whatever. Do they, did they have like the Christmas lights or did you feel the festivities of Christmas when you were there? Like, how did it feel?
It did feel the area we were staying were a lot of expats, like a lot of Canadians and Americans, and there was decorations, a bit of music. We were there last year as well, but at a resort for part of the time. And it was so weird because that's the first time we'd ever been like in a hot location for Christmas.
Yeah.
And you're sitting on the beach and they played nonstop Christmas carols. And your brain's going, what? Every once in a while you tune into the music and think, like I'm on a beach and they're playing Christmas carols, but it was really cool. And we didn't see as much, I don't feel like, as I expected or that you would think. But
Yeah.
most of the Mexicans themselves celebrate, I believe, on Christmas Eve and more than Christmas Day itself. So
Yeah.
yeah, we enjoyed it. And
That's good.
then when we were back home, we had done some Christmas gifts before we left
Okay.
and a little bit when we came back, but most of the gift was the experience and that took a lot of the pressure off of finding just the right gift because we were all like we've been looking forward to this. It's been booked about 3 months
Yeah.
before going. So all the anticipation is a gift and the planning and the excitement and knowing that this experience is coming up, and it was something new that we were doing together. And the girls
Yeah.
are teenagers. Kyle's mom came along. It was just so much fun. And that was just a new way of doing it. And I used to send like 50 Christmas cards, probably 15 overseas for years. Didn't do any of that because we had a mail strike, and the baking, we weren't going to be home
Yeah.
or have anybody around, so I wasn't doing Christmas baking. And I do
You could
that
have
for.
pre-baked and then froze it and then gave it out when you came back.
I could have. I could have
But
shipped you some cookies or something.
you could have
But
shipped
no,
it
there was,
my
so it
way.
really took off a lot. It changed the expectations I had on myself. And guess what? We all survived. We
Right.
survived without the cookies and without, the traditional stack of gifts. We didn't even have Santa show up on Christmas morning because we took carry-ons. So are we going to take, like, the stockings would have filled half of,
Oh yeah.
each would have filled half a carry-on the way we usually stuff them. So that was
Really
different
took
too.
that. Yeah.
But
And
yeah,
I love the
it was
beauty of
fun.
that. Yeah, I love just the beauty of because to myself, like I mentioned before, gift giving to me, I love giving experiences. And that's what we did this Christmas. Like I gave my mom and my stepdad like a stage west pass. And we actually had a limit of how much we were supposed to be giving. And it wasn't just myself, it was myself and my sister gave her a pass because we wanted to give them that experience after, just so much stuff going on and it's been stressful and my mom had surgery recently and just all this stuff and it's like, here's a night out, just go and enjoy and people really appreciate that than just something else. Like I was initially going to get her an air fryer because I got one a few months ago now and I just love it. And I'm just always in there cooking it. And I'm like, I would send pictures of my meals to my mom. Look what I made in the air fryer. And she's like, okay, maybe I'll have one because it's just the two of them, right? So it's nice, quick, and easy meals. But anyway, it was just, you know, it was so much better than just like something like that that's just going to sit on a counter or whatever. And, but like you said, a trip or an experience is just something that they're going to remember. And it's one of those self giving gifts and you're giving it to the others. I've told my parents before, like, I'm like, and the whole family, I'm like, I'm totally down to do like a holiday, like a getaway trip somewhere and just go and just that's it. We're not going to like give gifts to each other. It would just be the trip and the
Yeah.
memories. And I'm so down for that just because it takes you out of that environment of the snow and the cold and oh, we got to get gifts and we got to, we do
And who's
potluck for our
hosting,
meals
right?
and yeah, and the hosting and the dishes like it's not saying like it's not a bad thing at all, but sometimes it's just nice to have a break from that same, it's that shift. Again, I'm just gonna say you're always shifting into Christmas mode. So you're like, okay, here we go. We know exactly the routine and blah 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 blah. So getting out of that and go into like a different shift of like, what else can we do? And I'm always down for trying something different, something new that involves the whole family that can just have fun. Like when you're for all of our birthdays, we did Stage West, we did bowling one time, and um, a couple other little experiences, and it's so fun because it's outside of the box. It's not just okay, let's have cake and gifts and the usual, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
going
and
and
then I
doing that stuff,
found tickets to a Cirque show, and that was, I just
cool.
had that, I had that wrapped up, and that was easy to carry and give them on Christmas, and then it's something to look forward to after the trip as well. So I
Yeah,
think that's fun. I want to talk about New Year's and what that brings up for people, and
yeah,
then I want to talk about winter.
absolutely. I can
So New Year's, I
certainly
think,
say, yeah, go ahead.
resolutions is always, people will say, "Oh, what do you have any resolutions?" And uh, I don't know about you, but I quit those years ago because I feel it's something that is, well, I'm rebellious. I'll admit it, and so I just see it as you can't make me, even though it's my choice. I'll be like, yeah,
I'm
I'm
breaking
gonna
my
quit
own
doing this.
rules.
I'm gonna start doing that, and then you're like, but you
You
can't
know,
make me. So it doesn't last and it creates guilt. And I prefer to have, even just change the name of it to something like goals, vision, things like that. But to do
Yeah.
it not just on January 1st, like that's a really cool time to do it. But I feel like a lot of people are exhausted and stressed anyways, or down with migraines.
Yep.
Do it like you could do it the first of every month or every, season change or every 4 months. Or for me, September 1st was more of a new year as the
Yeah.
kids started that whole fresh, all their activities in school and everything. So I
Right.
would do a whole sort the house and organize every year in September as well as January. So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of my
That
thoughts.
makes sense.
But I'd like to also know, like, so tell me about resolutions. We're gonna a resolution revolution.
We're gonna resolute. Well, going along with
Gonna
your starting of the new year, not on January 1st, but I've seen floating around on social media um, saying that the spring equinox would be perfect for a fresh start, fresh new year. Everything's coming in, growing, whatever, which is beautiful in itself and a good idea too. Because again, I think the new year, January, it's like it's so dark outside and you're grumpy and yeah, it's the rush after everything. And then it's like, okay, well, now we have to shift into another gear of like having to, oh, I want to get up every day and go to the gym and go do this and go do that. And it's too much on ourselves. It's too much pressure. So another, I've been going to yoga classes since the end of October more frequently. And of course, I was a little bit sick before Christmas as well. So I took some time off and then I just started again last week. So when I went, or sorry, Monday, I went back. And on Monday, we had this instructor, and she's amazing. I haven't had her before, but she said not to set a resolution, but to set an intention. So going along
Mhm.
with like, okay, my intention is to, smile more, or my intention is to be nicer to people, or my intention is to take my time or have some patience, or my intention is not to eat a whole cake, or my intention. So, and again, like the more smaller goals that aren't going to just override us. And even if we want to lose weight or we want to go to the gym, which is great, I insist everyone, you know, you don't have to change your entire diet overnight. See what works. Maybe sometimes it's just cut out an extra cup of coffee or cut out some desserts. Just be gentle and go
Mhm.
slow. The same with like exercising. You can't just like get on yourself and be like, oh, I'm going to go every single day. And it's not possible when you haven't been doing it before. You can even have a friend do it with you. But even then, everyone just sort of like, oh, yeah, I'm not going today. And then the other person's going to go, yeah, I'm not going either. So make it realistic and just go, okay, well, maybe twice a week. What's reasonable? What
I think
works
that's
instead of beating yourself up because
that's the key. That's the
stop
key. And,
beating
and
yourself up.
intention doesn't feel like a rule.
Yeah.
Intention is gentle, it's kind,
Yeah.
it's positive.
My
And
intention is to at least go to the gym 3 times this month. Okay. And then do it whenever you can instead of
right.
like every single day. Because when you're not used to it, and they say it's 90 days to create a habit, and that will actually stick. So, or even I think it's 21 days. What is
21,
it?
yeah.
21
I've heard
days.
21, as little as 21. But
Yeah.
so if you set
21 to
four as
90
your
days.
intent, if you set three as
Yeah.
your intention, then you go 4 or 5, you're just
Yeah.
like, bonus, look at
Yeah.
me go.
Yeah. And celebrate the little wins.
Yes.
Celebrate what you're doing, what did you do well, and yeah, share it with others and be like, yeah, or social media, whatever, and just be proud that you are starting something and you're doing it flow. Some people don't like to share things, but celebrate yourself. You can't be hard on yourself and you have to go gentle. So I'm totally out the door with the New Year's resolutions. I think it's all bullshit and I think it's just worse. And I believe that there are times that you in your life that you will set some goals or intentions, but those are the times. And I think that kind of speaks to us individually instead of as a whole going, yeah, January 1st intention, like goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, then you can look into goals. There's short term goals, long term goals. And, decide what you want to do. Maybe you do want to have a healthier lifestyle, but again, start small and work your way up, but don't beat yourself up. Honestly, it's
Well,
definitely not worth
for
it. What do
me,
you think?
I agree. I agree. And intention for me in this year is to take better care of myself. My goals, my action steps I can take to doing that is being intentional the way I eat, or moving 10 minutes a day, even a minimum of 10 minutes a day. Drink this amount of water per day,
Yeah.
and kind of have
I
there's a
saw you doing
general
your
overall,
walks. You're doing your walks
yeah,
and stuff too. That was good. Yeah.
like there's a general intention, but then that's that's great. And it's like a filter for me. I can go, like, the neighbors brought over a big box of chocolates, and I'm just pounding those back. And then I went, I enjoy them, and I'm not going to just deny myself because this makes me happy. I'm eating them because I'm celebrating this win. And oh, I had another win. I should probably have another chocolate. And then I just paused and went, okay, but in the overall intention, one or two is great. But if I really do want to take good care of myself and I'm feeling a little hungry, maybe a glass of water and a piece of fruit, or can I make a healthier choice? Is there something
Yeah.
I could do to take better care of myself? And so it's not like slap my hand and I broke that rule, and it's just a
How dare
filter to
you?
pause and yeah, exactly.
Shame
Like
on you.
I, I think we're more successful that way. I'm
Yeah.
curious too to know what people had for a year ago, what they had for goals, what they had, if they did set resolutions, what were there, did they have anything that turned out hilarious or cringy or whatever that they'd like to just leave behind, that just was like it was a fail? How about you?
Oh my goodness. Well, again, I don't set New Year's resolutions. But more or less, I think it's more not like more personal, but I think more business goals is, just I'm always trying to grow my business, whether it's networking or whether it's just doing a new project or whatever it may be. And I'm proud to say that Underground Radio's Tea is the winner again of Canadian Choice Awards for 2025.
Yes.
So
Woo
um,
woo.
that was one of my goals, was to win again this year. And I just got the email yesterday. And so I haven't posted it up yet. So yeah, so we won that.
Congratulations. Well deserved.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So it's um, a consistency as well, which I like to work on. And then, of course, like I'm always trying to raise the bar on my guests and trying to, get the quality and be listening to the audience, listening to my listeners, and going, okay, what do you guys want? What do you want to see more of? What, instead of necessarily just me, I'm running the show. That's great. But they're the ones that are listening. So I want to give that feedback to the audience and go, okay, how can I better your experience as a listener? So I'm just, kind of listening to that sort of little voice in my head on, okay, would they appreciate this? Would they appreciate that? And along with just, patting everyone on the back for their successes, because it's not just me alone doing it. It's everyone in my circle that's helping us all grow. And of course, our 262 book, I mean, that's just incredible. So working with our ladies in that circle, I think it's been an accomplishment. So I'm trying, one of my goals with that is to try and get to the wine stomping this year. So I just got, so, you want to buy 12 bottles of wine. But yeah, so that's one of the goals I do want to do is actually go to that. Um, so hopefully, like, and that's not till September, right? So we got some time. Um, but yeah,
Cool.
I think those are, just, and for me, because it's my business, but it makes me happy, right? It's that accomplishment. So that ends up becoming a personal goal and a personal win to me. Okay, what about you, Deena?
Well, I think that when you do reach those goals, it sets a new standard, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as uncomfortable then to reach for other new goals, because you're like, damn, look what I did. I accomplished this. I set my mind up for that and I did it. And so, okay, I could push through. Now this is my new comfort level
Yeah.
and I have new standards. I had so many things change over the year in positive ways, and just jumping in with some some coaching, trying to be more conscious of my health,
Yeah.
and in many ways getting behind on that. I just took it all on at once, and I realized that tends to be a habit of mine. Is last May, all of a sudden I signed up for a whole bunch of things all at once. And now by November, December, I'm just way behind on all of them because there isn't enough time in the day. I changed the model of my magazines. I added a second magazine. I made them quarterly. I have newsletters in between. The podcast was going out like 3 episodes a week. It just insanity, burning myself right out. So
Yeah.
that was my hard lesson, that I had to be more um, aware of how
Yeah.
I was feeling and acknowledge that. And so that's why this year my intention is to take better care of myself. So that was
Starting
that
with your
was
trip.
something I learned,
Yeah.
starting with the
It's
trip.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
going back
awesome.
again because there was more availability at the condo that we'd rented, and I'm going back again. And our friend Anna is coming with me. We're going to have a working vacation. So that's going to be
Oh,
amazing. Yeah, I'll
if you
still
need
be
someone to clean your
working,
room,
but
let
at
me
least,
know.
yeah, okay. um, Something that I came across, I was doing some reading around resolutions and that kind of thing, and I think it would be funny. I came across something that said, like, what are some really ridiculous or unconventional resolutions that might actually work? And one was like, buy more socks to avoid a laundry crisis. Or,
Yeah.
um,
Huh?
what are other ways a person can help stick to this intention? So vision
Yeah.
boards, little
Mm.
micro actions or something, and then rewards. I think rewards and celebrating yourself is really
And
important.
don't go to the gym and then treat yourself after with like the
Yeah,
goodies
ice
because
cream.
I'm bad. Like I deserve this because I'm working out.
Yep, yep.
I'm like, okay. So yeah, I'm trying to switch the bad stuff with the good stuff a little bit at a time, but I still
Yeah,
treat
and
myself
that's
here
right, a
and
little at
there.
a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a great conversation with my son a few months ago, and I was like, "Yep, I think I should just sign up with the trainer and go to the gym and just jump like all in, right?" And this was another thing I was going to jump all in on it.
Yeah.
And he said, honestly, many people, not saying that I was going to, but I probably was, they get started with that and they just can't maintain it because it's such a huge change to their daily routine. So I
Yeah.
love what you've been saying all along is do a little at a time, ease yourself into it, and then you
Yeah.
won't have like this big feeling of failure where your
Mhm.
membership is still being auto withdrawn
Yeah,
from
we're
your
going.
account
Yeah.
and you haven't been going, and you just feel guiltier and guiltier, and then you eat cookies and cake and ice cream to take care of that guilt,
Right.
and you have the opposite effect. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can
Oh,
still get a
another,
trainer. You
yep,
can still get a trainer and do workouts at home and also
yep,
go to the gym, but you can space
yep.
everything out, right? Because I do recommend if you do
Well,
want to go that route that you can do it and have your trainer stay on top of you. Go, hey, have
yes,
you been
yeah,
whatever? Because that's sometimes that's all people really need is the accountability of to be like, hey, I need someone to just push me to make sure that I'm going, that I do it. Because like you and I, we've got very busy schedules. I have to schedule my workout and I literally go on my gym app and I tap in the booking to go because otherwise I'll be like, well, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't go. And if I don't show, then it's a fee. So, I can cancel an hour beforehand if I'm not feeling well, but otherwise, yeah, I go, okay, no, this is booked in my schedule, time to go. So if you're someone that schedules a lot, like myself, then put it in your schedule and then chances are you will more or less go. But it's good to have someone, if you want that route, is to have
yeah,
someone just make you accountable. Then you can definitely do that. And then you could do stuff at home too. And they can check on you going, well, did you? do okay with your eating today? Did you go for your walk? Did you whatever? And then have your gym days, and then they check off your gym days, right? Those are
I've
options.
done that. I've done that with friends though too. We've just been accountability
Yeah.
partners
Yeah.
and, even started a little spreadsheet. It's like, these are my goals and just check, just check it off. It's like, hey, I drank this much water today. Hey, I did this many steps today. And then at the end of the week, we're just like, okay, now, we celebrate each other, even just with a
Yeah.
FaceTime happy hour, whatever it might be.
Or a
Um,
group walk or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about winter too. And because for me, I really do always have struggled with winter. And I feel like that shift has, like, fall, we talked about in the fall,
Yeah.
how we love fall, but yet I would
Yeah.
cringe about fall because it meant winter was following. And I'd miss the beauty and I'd miss that, the weather, and that fall is an amazing season. But
Right.
I would be like all cringed and tight about it because I was like, ah, but winter's coming. So
Yeah.
winter itself, I've also been working on that shift
Yeah.
and recognizing that nature is showing us an example of rest, and that
Mm-hmm.
there's always enough time. Those seasons just keep happening and happening, and they happen at the right time, and we don't have to be in this push
Yeah.
rush energy. So
Yeah.
to have that shift, and it made me think of, so what could a person put together as little, like, shift starter survival kits or something? So if what would work for you? What would you want to see in a winter
A
shift
winter shift package.
survival kit?
You know what I actually did this year, and I haven't really done it in years past, but there was a Facebook group post. I can't remember which group it was in, so just don't even search for it. But there was somebody that asked, what are some winter tips that people do in the city to help kind of ease things up a little bit? So there were a couple things. One was you buy, it's called Alaskan snow removal, Alaskan ice
Oh, the
removal.
ice melt?
Yeah, but there's one you can stick on your windshield and your windows. So if want it easier to scrape off your ice off the windshield, you can spray that and it will help that. So I bought that. And then I bought this just from the dollar store. It's just a windshield cover. And even though we haven't had a lot of snow or too many cold temperatures, even when it hits like -9 at night and it just does the little frost, it prevents it from building up on your windshield. And so all you have to really do is wait for my back windshield to defrost and then you're good to go. But it's great because it's like that ease of just like, okay, I can get into my car and I can see properly and you get a full vision of everything and it makes your mind at ease basically,
Instead of
because I
that, holy
like to
fuck.
have right. And then instead of like you got the you got like the snow around, or like only
Yep.
one wiper works and whatever. So this is great because then it's all completely clear and it's wonderful. And then you don't have to like scrape off that. You just lift off the cover. So
Yep.
I got
One
that. I
less.
got the ice removal thingy. I ended up getting a new brush for my vehicle, and I got what else did I get? Well, last year I actually got because my tires go low a lot, and I've had a couple tire leaks. So over the years, I've been struggling with like I don't know if it's a rim on on my tire. Something is just always making one go low, but sometimes it's the stem. I get a stem valve replacement. So anyway, what I decided to do was buy just a nice compact like little compressor that will fill
Compressor.
up my car without so it's like just again something ease of mind that okay if a station's closed I can't get there to fill up my tire, but because of our fluctuations of temperature, our +5 to -20,
Yeah.
sometimes your tires do decompress, like
Yeah.
it's the temperatures, the condensation, whatever, so I bought these little things as like a comfort survival package for my own vehicle itself. And then I also bought, because I'm a cold person all the time, hate it, like you hate the cold. The dollar store again had these wonderful little insoles that you can buy for your boots, even your shoe, whatever. And there's ones that have like foil on one side and like
Mhm.
wool on the other side to fit. And I'm just like, it's just like that extra warmth just to keep your feet dry off that damp, and then just some like warmer socks, because if you're losing the heat through your head and your feet, then you're so uncomfortable. It's so
Yes.
crabby. So I'm like, I hate being crabby, and just like, let me just
And cold.
watch something and do something about this. And I have a great warm coat. So this year I'm like, okay, I'm just going to dress warmer, and then and just like layer up and everything. And I've been fine. I'm like a lot happier because I'm warmer, and it's just those little things. And then I can drive and see things. And I've got the comfort of just knowing, like, if a tire's a little bit low, I don't have to search for something or have $2 for the pump, the air hose. And so I'm like, it's just so much easier and just nicer, and it makes me just like a little bit happier. So I don't know, and sometimes a cup of coffee just hits the spot too. So that's my care package for winter. What about you, Deena? I know that was a
I was
lot,
thinking
but
I was thinking more along blankets and hot toddies
thank you.
and lip sole and um, s- excuse me, sweaters
Yeah,
and a little space heater. So sometimes I have a little
mm,
space heater beside me and just working from home. Like I feel so blessed to be working from home. So those are special things. I've discovered, so I love black licorice and I have black licorice tea and I discovered the delicious, I've been putting Sambuca in it some evenings and it's just like, ooh, amp up that licorice. It is so
mm,
good. So that's kind of a treat on a really cold, like you're just feeling chilled to the bone
yeah.
and curl up and get warm. And guess what I got for Christmas? One of the gifts I got was one of those heated blankets you can plug in that has
So
heating coils. So sitting on the couch at night when I'm warmer if I'm moving around so much during the
yeah,
day, but then you sit down and then you sit there for a little while
yeah,
and
and your body
you start to
temperature
get
goes
cold.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
because
when
you're
you
being
need that
soaked up.
blanket.
Yeah,
And
and
that, yeah, so that I
true.
think are some of the things. I also got and haven't even tried it yet because I want to do it right and go on YouTube and figure it out. But I got a red light, and that's apparently supposed to help with some of that seasonal affective disorder that's sad, when you
Oh, the
in the
depression,
winter
seasonal depression.
kind of, yeah, I
Got
kind of
it.
like a depression. So it's supposed to be good for you for many, many things, for pain, for seasonal changes and whatever. So we'll see how that goes. I'll report
Yeah,
back on that
cool.
later.
I
Yeah, so I think that's kind of the big things around winter. But yes, I like a warm jacket and the mittens and the layers and
Yeah. Well, because it is
heated
like
seats
it's the
in the vehicle.
outside, right? It's the outside that causes the discomfort even on the inside. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let's go to the core. Because, well, for me, because I'm out quite a bit, out doing things, but and then I'm a mix, right? I'm a mix going out working and a mix inside. So I love to be able to curl up on the couch into a nice warm blanket. And I was actually gifted a blanket at Christmas from my son's girlfriend. And I was like, she hand knitted it, like hand wove it, like those
Nice.
big, thick
Yeah.
blankets, like, and I was like, this is like the best gift ever, other than my necklace that I got for Christmas too from my
Ooh,
boyfriend. So there's that.
very
But
nice.
yeah, so I
But
was
I think winter is an
that's it.
opportunity
Yeah,
to slow
to slow
down,
down.
rest,
Yeah,
relax. It gets dark earlier. We naturally that melatonin starts kicking in, and we are feeling,
yeah,
instead of
it
resisting
should.
it, light a candle, curl up, get your new binky,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, because I think also sometimes it's a bit frustrating because I'm one of those persons that likes to utilize all of my time and as much day as I can. So when it
yep,
starts getting dark out, I feel like, oh, there goes my opportunity to go and do this or go and do that. However, I mean, you can still schedule to go see a movie or go do something, but oftentimes, yeah, like we should be maybe using this season as to slow down and do the house purging, do, something you haven't been doing, like read a book, do something that's productive, but inside, right? You can still do that. You could do like a Netflix watching party with people as well. Like there's like Netflix now, wrestling moved to Netflix. So we were watching that the other night. Yeah, like there's just different things you can do at home, and you could still do a walk or something as well. But I think everyone gets so just down on themselves and just like, oh, I can't do this and can't do that. But again, we have to shift that mindset to like, what can we do that, don't be hard on yourselves. Like think of maybe a household like project, yeah, everyone can do together, or do a puzzle or something that's, like I said, still productive, but it's just like, just
Or
something you can do at home.
board game nights or something like that. I'd love to hear anybody who's listening, like even on the replay,
Yeah.
drop comments in and let us know some ideas for what you like to do, or even as a family, to get through winter, or if you have put together little care gifts for friends that have a tough time in the winter,
Yeah.
or maybe they are kind of isolated and winter, it's difficult for them to get out or get around. And that's not just related to age. People do have mobility issues
Yeah.
at any age too, or they're a mom with young kids and it's a huge deal to bundle them all up and get them in their car seats and go anywhere. And maybe we can look for opportunities that would bring us joy, help them,
Play date.
and that helps brighten our winter days. And just say, hey, I'm running to Costco. Is there something? Do you need a box of
Yeah.
diapers? Or like, is there something I can pick up for you
Yeah.
and help people out? So I
Oh,
think
for
that's really
sure.
good. I
Yeah.
want to ask.
I love
You
that.
mentioned Netflix. We're talking about winter things that we can do indoors over the winter. Is there any show or series or anything that you've been watching lately that
Okay, well, I watched Stranger Things back last summer. I kind of started, so summer, fall, and I finished it. And I've heard that they're done filming for season 5, and it's their last season, and it comes out in April. So I won't be able to watch the actual finale till April, which sucks. So, but just kind of like going through and watching some of the older shows that are sort of on there, and like Rush Hour 1, Rush Hour 2, and sometimes like just some of the 80s movies, whatever, but nothing like when The Circle was on, that was kind of fun to watch. I like the game show stuff, like The Mole, that was fun.
have you watched
But yeah,
Beast
there
Games?
isn't. What's that? Oh,
Have you
Squid
watched
Game.
Beast? No,
I,
Beast Games.
oh, Mr. Beast. My kids
Yep.
loved Mr. Beast, so I'm over that. But I don't know. I'd have to kind of watch again. I don't know, but there isn't really a. I did my whole Christmas watching, though. I did my a lot of Christmas shows, and that was a lot of fun, like the Home Alones and Christmas with the Cranks and um, Santa Claus, and that just to stay in the mood through the season, because like I said, our Christmas ended sort of early,
Earlier.
but I still wanted to celebrate Christmas and pull it through. just keep going just a little bit while I was having a little bit of a cough, and still I was still trying to slow down a little bit, but it just caught up with me. But yeah, I don't know. What about you? Like there is the Squid Game thingy out, and I haven't watched any of those before, so I don't know
We haven't
if
watched that one, but we've been watching the Beast Game ones, and I find
yeah,
them fascinating and cringy all at once because
right.
it feels like he's using these people for social experiment, which he is, but it's also fascinating to just see what people do and consider
Yeah,
what would I do in that situation. It's easy to say from the couch, but that's
right.
one. We watched the finale of Yellowstone because we'd watched all 5 seasons, so
Oh
that
yeah, I
was
didn't
that
watch
was
any of
good.
those. Yeah,
Um, and then Landman is another Taylor Sheridan. That's been good. And uh, there's one called Shrinking that's amazing. Ted Lasso we watched last summer, I think it was. Loved it. But yeah,
right,
Shrinking is a really good series. What was another one? I can't remember now. But we
yeah,
do like in the evenings, like you say, it gets dark. And usually I would have gone for a walk, But
Yeah.
instead now it's, I'm just going to curl up and maybe watch something. And I'm not a big TV watcher, but it is something that we do
Yeah.
tend to enjoy.
I don't like, I
Oh, I
like
know
to
another
watch
one.
TV, but yeah.
I know another
Mm,
one. Remember our guest on the Sexy Shifts, Janine McKinnon,
yeah.
sexual empowerment coach, and she said you got to check out Sex, Love, and Goop on Netflix.
I never did check that out.
Yeah, so we did watch some of
Right.
those, and it I think it's one, like, I started one day and Colin was away at work and I'm like, no, I think this would be good to watch as a couple, because then they'll
Yeah.
bring up things that you want to talk about, or you
Is it a
know
series or is it just one?
no, there's a few. I don't know
Okay.
that it's a full series. I don't even know. I think
Okay.
we've watched, well, I'm not sure, but
Okay.
and I've mentioned it to friends and they've watched it too and said it really got some very interesting conversations going about, and it talks about body image and different things, mind shifts that we get, patterns that we're stuck in, we don't realize that we are.
Yeah.
And again, like, there's, one lady, she's a mom, and just expressing to her husband, like, I am absolutely exhausted just being a mom and doing all the things. And so being able to
Yeah.
communicate that and saying, it's like, I'm not
Right.
rejecting you sometimes. I'm just exhausted and I just need you to recognize that. And I need to learn how to communicate that to you.
Yeah.
So it's not just all about sex. It's really a lot
It's
of those
communication
mind
of
shifts.
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
around.
think oftentimes we do fall into different, like, not different, but the same patterns, like you said, of household duties. Um, whatever you're doing at home, like you're always going to fall into those things. And then we realize that we don't realize we're going into the burnout stage.
Mhm.
So sometimes, or it could even be boredom. So it's good to recognize when it sort of starts happening, right? Like, okay, do you feel stagnant in the relationship or stagnant in your job? Do you feel, what's not working the same anymore? But as soon as you feel that, you may feel off. You may feel like just you're like bored of going to the same job every single day or just something. But reiterate that to your partner, your spouse, whatever, right away. Instead of like, because then you start resenting them, because it's like, they're just expecting you to keep doing the same thing over and over again, picking up what the other person isn't doing, whatever, which happens, and that's understandable.
Well,
The other person
they're
just
trying to
doesn't know.
guess.
Yeah. They're like,
They're
okay,
trying to
why
guess.
isn't this person doing the same thing that they normally do? What's wrong? Like, and then picking arguments, whatever. So that's not a healthy way to deal with it. Instead of going, hey, like I noticed, you know, maybe you don't even necessarily have to say anything. Sometimes if the person does say the dishes every night or every third night, whatever, and you just notice like they just seem off, then maybe just go and do it. Like help out that way without even saying anything as a, pickup. Um, I think just little, like if you know that person, you've been with them for a while, you're gonna see these things. Like it's not, you know, or even like if you have a bad day at work, just say it. I've had a bad day at work and I just need a few minutes before I
Yeah.
just get back to myself and whatever, but communicate it and, don't don't get mad at the other person when they're not treating you the same. Right?
Yeah.
Like there's just, yeah, because it's not often just like you said, there's so many different things in a relationship that can happen that shifts that perspective. And going with the new year shifts, if your spouse or whoever has a new year goal, help them out to achieve
Yes.
those and push them and help them to strive for it. Have those conversations, check in, say, hey, how are you doing with your goal? Or ask them, do you want me to check in with your
Yes.
goals?
Or how can I support you in this?
Yeah, yeah. Because they maybe they're going to write a book this year. Maybe they're going to do whatever it may be. And you're just like, yeah, you want to, go for it and cheer them on and just be there. But just, bounce off those ideas with each other too, because that's what you're there for. Absolutely. So,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that communication is good, because for some people that's
yeah,
encouraging, or there's a certain pace of that that's encouraging, and after that it's just irritating, like, back the fuck off. I will do it at my own schedule. and now you're
Yeah.
just pissing me off, and now I'm not gonna do it, and I'm gonna blame it on you.
Yeah. So there's that fine line
Yep,
of pestering and bugging and what is that nagging. So
nagging,
make
yeah.
sure you're being supportive, not nagging. Just be
I
like,
love that.
you
We
know,
have we've been talking some really cool shift for an hour
New
already.
Year's, right?
And
And it's
I
fun.
even brought up like sex shifts again, and your mama was here.
Yep, my mommy. My
And
mommy
she
was in here.
supports you through this.
I
I
don't know if
love it.
she's still in here. Yeah. Oh yeah, she'll come
Okay,
in and
so
she'll watch them and
we're
she'll probably
back. We're back the 22nd, and we have a guest
we
with us, I
too.
believe, right? Ramona is
Um
going to be with us.
yeah. So I think we're trying to get a guest at least once a month through our seasons and see how that goes and have our different talks as we normally do and shift different ways throughout. And next month will be interesting because we get to do a Valentine's shift, which is always fun.
Yeah,
And I want to see like, you guys can already comment or send us whatever your maybe some Valentine stories. That would be interesting to share,
that would be fun. We would share them on the show.
right?
Send ideas for Valentine's, ones
Your
that were
sexy
a
shifts.
fail, something hilarious. Yeah, some
Yeah.
shift that you
Because
made.
we
Because
did
some people
sexy
hate
shifts
Valentine's.
before, but yeah, yeah. I mean, it's such a Hallmark holiday to me, but sometimes it's the only time of the year that some people actually really think about being romantic
Romantic.
or doing something it's that push. So who knows? Send us all your information and the fun stuff and, you know, what you guys want to see on that because it's going to be fun for
It'll be
sure.
fun.
So,
Well,
yeah,
thank you, Cari.
thank you. Thank you for the birthday farts.
Oh man,
This was
couldn't
so
resist.
funny. It was really good. I like that. Thank you.
I'm happy it found you.
Me too. And I love that it's after everything. Like it was just a complete surprise because of the mail strike. I just actually really loved that. I was like, it's more of a surprise than just be
Yeah,
like, yeah, it's going to be here between 3 and 5 days. And it's like, no, 3 to 5 weeks. And it's so great. Just, I love surprises. That's why maybe. So, yeah. Well, thank you, Deena, for shifting with me today. I appreciate that.
my pleasure.
That was
Okay,
fun. So we'll see you in a couple weeks, guys, and we'll be doing some more shifting for January. And yeah, but to make sure you guys comment your Valentine shifts or email us whatever you want to do there. And yeah, we'll have some fun with that for sure. So have a great evening, guys, and
great
enjoy
evening.
the rest of the
Stay
next
warm.
couple weeks. Yeah, stay warm. Get your coats and get your insoles
Binkies.
and
Yep.
your cup of hot toddies.
Yep.
Bye, guys. See you
Over and
soon.
out.